Alright guys, so I do have some good news, and that is that it appears that Gavin Newsom, the current governor of California, there's obviously a recall election going on against him, a big waste of time, but it was appearing that the poll numbers were actually pretty close, apparently because of Democratic apathy. And so it was voters, Democratic voters, who just didn't seem interested or motivated in the election. But the motivation of the Republicans was through the roof. In fact, they were just trying to look for any excuse to recall Newsom. Ever since Newsom was elected, the recall movement had started. So long before any of that, they were already trying to recall him, and then they're just using a bunch of excuses to recall him. But with the emergence of Larry Elder as his main opponent, I think it's made this election pretty easy. And so what we can see here is that Gavin Newsom is experiencing a major surge in polls. It's his Bellwether California poll shows Newsom surviving recall. Just fewer than 4 in 10 California voters support removing Governor Gavin Newsom from office in this month's recall election, according to a new poll of likely voters released just over a week before ballots are due to be returned. Just 39% of likely voters told pollsters at the Public Policy Institute of California they would vote to recall Newsom, while 58% said they would vote against the recall. Those figures are in line with earlier PPIC polls in March and May, which showed Newsom surviving by roughly the same margin. About 4 in 5 Republicans will vote to recall Newsom, but the overwhelming majority of Democrats, 90%, say they will vote to keep him, and so do a plurality, 49% of independent voters. So the evidence that I have to present to you that Gavin Newsom is experiencing a surge, and why I'm officially calling this election over, although maybe it's premature just in terms, I mean, you know, I can't really impact that much. So I'm going to say this election's over. I mean, he's won, but the amount of evidence that I have is far more than just one poll. So when you go to 538, you can very clearly see, and this is always the best way to look, is at the aggregate numbers of the polls. And so what you can see is there's been a clear surge for Gavin Newsom. You can literally see that it was like August where it started to get really close, and all throughout it was really close. And then you can see it starts to diverge, right? Remove goes down significantly. It went from being within 1 point, less than a point. At this point, it was 0.2 in August, early August. But now we can see late August, early September, he is up 8.4 in the aggregate numbers. So that's an average. And then when you actually look at all of the polls here, you can see a clear, obvious trend that you can see that there is a big surge, because you can see the PPIC, which is the poll I just showed you earlier, is Keep 16. Trafalgar Group, which is fucking a conservative pollster, they have an A- range, says Keep +8. Survey USA, Keep +10. I thought Survey USA was even like right wing. Change Research, Keep +13. Redfield and Wilton Strategies, Keep +8. YouGov, Keep +4. Survey USA was removed +9 in August 2nd through 4th. That's an interesting one because it seems to be quite the outlier here. But what you could see is it was a big divergence in terms of what the numbers were prior to this. Emerson College at the late July 30th to August 1st, it's Keep +3. July 27th through 29th, Core Decision Analytics +6. UC Berkeley, Keep 2. Emerson, Keep +5. Change Research, Keep +12. So you can see that he had high numbers back in April, May, but once June and July started coming in, once July really hit, the numbers tanked. Okay, is what you can see, right? Keep +5, +2, +6, +3, and then a remove +9. But now what you can see is, and then there was a +4 and a +8 in late August. To me, it appears that clearly there was the emergence of Larry Elder as his opponent gave him an easy way to basically explain, this is the guy who is going to be governor if you do not vote to save me from recall. And so I think that has reversed and done a lot of reversal damage to the apathy from Democratic voters. And so now you can see in August 2022, Keep +8, Redfield Wilton Strategies, Change Research, Keep +13, Survey USA, Keep +10, Trafalgar, Keep +8, Public Policy Institute of California, Keep +16. These are big polls, over 1,000 people, and a big issue for Gavin was that the registered voters polls were doing a lot better than the likely voter polls. So registered voters just polls people who are registered, but that's methodologically flawed. You need to ask likely voters, and that can be enough to swing an entire election easily. So these are all likely voter polls. So you can see that there's a clear surge, and I do believe that it is because of the emergence of Larry Elder as his opponent. So this is good news, Gavin Newsom. I am 100,000 billion, gazillion, trillion % confident he's going to retain it now, which is really cool.